This presentation introduces the new design standard CS230, Pavement Maintenance Assessment Procedure. This is part of the new design manual for roads and bridges and is contained in the Pavement Inspection and Assessment section. This presentation relates to the main document and the English National Application Annex. The presentation will cover where CS230 has come from and its relationship with other pavement standard documents. It will also review the main changes and will describe CS230's place in pavement renewals. The presentation will provide a brief overview of the main document, and it will go into more detail on the network level traffic speed surveys for visual condition tracks and structural condition TRAS. The presentation will cover the requirement to review data to identify if sections are suitable for preservation treatment or if the need for maintenance treatments are technically simple or technically complex. It will conclude with a brief summary. The design manual for roads and bridges has been refreshed and new standards have been created to support asset management lifecycle stages. The old HD30 has been split into the Maintenance Assessment Procedure in CS230 and the Design for Pavement Maintenance in CD227. The new CS230 Pavement Maintenance Assessment defines how to undertake and analyse network level surveys and identify lengths to investigate. CD227, Design for Pavement Maintenance, draws the investigation process together by introducing the requirement for an investigation plan. The diagram shows the relationship of CS230, Pavement Maintenance Assessment Procedure, with the other pavement standards. CS230 sets out the requirements for the network level surveys and the requirements to review the network level data to identify lengths of further investigation. CD227, Design for Pavement Maintenance, establishes the requirements for an investigation plan informed by the visual condition surveys described in CS229. CS230 Pavement Maintenance Assessment Procedure replaces part of HD2908 Data for Pavement Maintenance and part of HD3008 Maintenance Assessment Procedure, and these old standards are superseded. The new standard is divided into three sections: the network surveys, other data sources, and the review of data for scheme identification. The new CS230 now incorporates the upgraded requirements and guidance for tracks, and the requirements and guidance for TRAS. The standard introduces the assessment procedure reviewing the data to identify if maintenance treatments are needed, if lengths are suitable for preventative maintenance treatments, or whether the maintenance can be fast-tracked or in the case of technically simple schemes. The new standard updates the requirements for the network level traffic speed condition surveys and for the analysis of this TRACS data. The TRACS requirements are that the survey shall provide data on pavement geometry including gradient and crossfall and radius, data on rutting and enhanced longitudinal profile variance for the 3 metre, 10 metre and 30 metre wavelengths, on sensor measured texture depth, lane fretting intensity, noise, and surface type and cracking. Information recorded by the TRACS vehicle is categorised into 4 categories. These are defined as sound with negligible deterioration, some deterioration, low level of concern, moderate level of deterioration where there's a warning level of concern, and severe deterioration where there is an intervention level of concern. The threshold for these is measured across 100 metre lengths, and it is largely unchanged from HD29. The traffic speed condition surveys report lane fretting intensity of asphalt surfaces over a range of 0 to 625. The standard includes the following table for guidance. Where the lane fretting intensity is below 2, there is likely to be very low or no fretting present. In the 2 to 10 range, two scenarios may be present, either low fretting over long lengths or moderate fretting over short lengths. Similarly, in the 10 to 20 range, two scenarios exist, either moderate fretting over long lengths or severe fretting over short lengths. There is likely to be very severe patches of fretting present when the lane fretting intensity is reported as 20 or more. The track's bump measure identifies features that are not shown on the enhanced longitudinal profile variants. These can be sunken ironwork, potholes, or perhaps transverse joints. They're reported as a feature that's present or not present within the 100 metre lengths. Surface types are also reported by the tracks, and these can be cross-checked against the Happens construction records. Based upon this information, a noise prediction is generated for the type and the texture. CS230 introduces the requirement to use the track's downward-facing images to carry out visual condition assessments on rigid pavements. These are required on all lanes on jointed rigid pavements and continuously reinforced concrete pavements. This requirement also includes those pavements with an asphalt overlay of 50 mm or less. A review of these rigid pavements shall be undertaken at least once every 3 years. The standard sets out the specific range of the defects for each rigid pavement type. These are grouped into 4 condition categories. The results of the assessment shall be uploaded into the Happens pavement management system. There are 3 different types of rigid pavements in the standard: unreinforced jointed concrete, jointed rigid concrete, and continuously reinforced concrete pavements. Each has its own range of defects, and these are grouped into 4 categories: low, moderate, high, and severe level of deterioration. For both unreinforced concrete pavements and jointed reinforced concrete pavements, the percentage of cracked or broken or replaced bays per 100 metres is used to define the category. For continuously reinforced concrete pavements, the number of significant defects per 100 metres is used to define the category, and the definition for significant defect is contained in CS229, Data for Pavement Assessment. Traffic Speed Structural Condition Surveys, known as TRAS, have been undertaken since 2009 and are included in the standards for the first time. These surveys are undertaken using the traffic speed deflectometer on lanes 1 and 2 of the main line carriageway and on lane 1 of the slip roads. Additional information on these surveys can be found in Appendix E/B. The TRAS data is only available for flexible pavements. These include flexible pavements with asphalt base and flexible pavements with hydraulically bound base. The survey data is stored in Happens, the pavement management system. The TRAS structural condition data is reported against 4 network structural condition categories. These NSCs are applied to 100 metre lengths of the respective lane. These NSCs are calculated and stored in Happens. It is important to note that the robustness of the TRAS assessment is dependent on the quality of the construction data and the traffic data contained in Happens. The traffic speed structural condition data is analysed and reported in Happens as 4 network level structural condition categories. NSC Level 1 indicates flexible pavements without any need for structural maintenance. Level 2 indicates flexible pavements unlikely to need structural maintenance. Level 3 and Level 4 are flexible pavements likely and very likely to need structural maintenance. Where Happens has been able to compute the analysis of the data, this is reported as a null value. This could be due to the lack of traffic data or construction data in Happens indicating a rigid pavement. These categories apply to the 100-metre length reported in Happens pavement management system. CS230 includes the requirement to review the tracks and truss network level data to select lengths of pavement that warrant detailed investigation. For tracks, the most recent 100-metre data is compared against condition thresholds. For flexible pavements, texture, rutting and enhanced longitudinal profile variants shall be reviewed for the presence of condition in Category 4 in a 100-metre length, or where Category 3 is present in a 2 100-metre lengths within any 1 kilometre. Lane fretting and bump measures shall be reviewed against the guide values in this standard. And for rigid pavements, the signs of deterioration at or above Category 2 is identified. Most recent traffic speed structural condition data shall be reviewed and the network structural condition categories used to identify technically simple maintenance schemes and identify lengths suitable for preventative maintenance treatments. These NSCs are used in CD227 Design for Pavement Maintenance to potentially reduce the need for deflectograph surveys. Other relevant data shall be used to supplement the data from network surveys. These should be data from safety inspections, other routine inspections that are regularly undertaken to identify pavement defects, and records of unplanned and reactive maintenance. CS230 sets 6 requirements that need to exist for a pavement length to warrant further investigation for its suitability for preventative maintenance treatment. All 6 requirements must exist throughout the length. These are that the surface type shall be a thin surface course system and that it shall be more than 5 years old. It shall be free from all signs of visual defect. The track's texture depth, rut depth and enhanced longitudinal profile variants are all in condition Category 1. The track's lane fretting intensities are all less than 2. And the truss network structural condition categories are all in NSC 1 or 2. And the characteristic skid coefficient is above the investigatory level. The standard establishes the procedure to determine if no pavement maintenance scheme exists, or if the length is one requiring a simple assessment process, or one that is technically more complex. When the length identified is a technically simple maintenance scheme, it will follow a simplified assessment and development process. These technically simple pavement maintenance schemes shall be at least 500 metres long. They shall have truss NSC condition data in Category 1 or 2. The track's 10-metre rut depths shall be less than 11 millimetres. There shall be widespread visual defects in any lane, and there shall be no visual signs of any potential structural defects across any of the lanes. In summary, CS230 Pavement Maintenance Assessment Procedure has replaced parts of the previous standards HD29 and parts of HD30. These are superseded. The presentation has covered the main document and the English National Annex. CS230 covers the tracks and truss traffic speed surveys. It defines the parameters and establishes the condition categories, establishes the requirement for data review and the identification of schemes. It defines how to identify if a pavement scheme exists or not, if preventative maintenance treatment could be considered, or if maintenance schemes are technically simple or technically complex in nature.